Okay, so the topic is chlorination. Okay, and in this topic we already discussed about the different methods of disinfection. Okay, like ozonation, chlorination, UV radiation, iodine and bromine method, the boiling of water, and also the chlorination process. Okay, so these are the different methods which are used for the disinfection process. Then we also discuss about the chlorination process, why the chlorine is very important and most acceptable method for the disinfection. Okay, and what are the advantages of chlorination process, that also we discuss. We also discuss about the what are the different application of chlorine. So in which forms we can add chlorine. So chlorine we can add in the form of bleaching powder, as a bleaching powder form. Okay, secondly, we can add as a chloramine, that is chlorine and present with ammonia. So combinedly it is called as chloramine. So in the liquid form we can also add chlorine, and the third form it is a chlorine gas form. So we can add chlorine in the form of gases. Okay. So in all three forms, that is in the form of gas, liquid and solid, we can add chlorine to the water for the disinfection process. Okay. After that, we discussed about the different terms that related with the chlorination process. That is pre-chlorination, that is before the treatment of water, complete treatment of water, chlorine is added. That is called as pre-chlorination. Simple chlorination and plain chlorination. It is just apply the chlorine to the water and supply the water for the drinking purpose. Next, post-chlorination. It is after the completely treatment of water, we can add chlorine, and that process called as post-chlorination. Superchlorination, it is a process when excessive dose of chlorine is required because it contains maximum amount of bacteria organism, and that's why we need the excessive dose of chlorine. So that process is called as superchlorination, where the dose of chlorine is going to be added in larger amount. Okay, then dechlorination and rechlorination, that again two process. So dechlorination, it is a process when the chlorine content is in excessive form. Okay. So at the end of the tap, the residual chlorine should be available up to 0.1 to 0.2 mg per liter. Okay. So if the quantity of chlorine which present at the end of the tap water, it is maybe up to 0.5 or 0.6. So in that case, we need to remove the excessive chlorine from that water, and the removal of excessive chlorine from that water, that process is called as dechlorination. Okay. And secondly, the rechlorination. Okay, so sometimes the amount of chlorine which added to the water, which is not sufficient to kill all bacteria, which is not sufficient to oxidize the iron, manganese and organic matter. Okay, so in that case we required some extra addition of chlorine for the completely disinfection of water. So that process we add some extra dose of chlorine, and that is called as rechlorination. Okay, so when the chlorine amount is going to be reduced, or the residual chlorine is going to be reduced, so in that case we are going to add some extra additional chlorine, that is called as rechlorination. Okay, so these are the various terms that related with the chlorination process. Okay, first one is plain chlorination or simple chlorination, then pre-chlorination, then post-chlorination, then superchlorination, then dechlorination and rechlorination. So these all are the terms that related with the chlorination process. Okay, so this is what the disinfection. So in this process, we are going to. Okay, so in this lesson we will answer the following question. So what is the first? What disinfection requirements must be met in treating drinking water? How does the chlorination fit into the water treatment process, and what other methods can be used for disinfectant water? This all we already discussed. Okay, so you can see this is what the pathogens and whatever the disease causes. Okay, so these are the different pathogens, viruses, and which causes the diseases like polio, then hepatitis, then tuberculosis, then cholera. Okay, so these are the different methods of disinfection: chlorination, ozonation, UV radiation, and boiling of water. Okay, so chlorination history. So when chlorine is added to the water, a variety of chemical processes take place. The chlorine reacts with compounds in the water and with the water itself. Some of the result this reaction is known as chlorine residue, okay, are able to kill microorganism in the water. Okay, so when we are going to add chlorine to the water, it kills organism and bacteria from that water. Chlorine demand. So what is chlorine demand? Okay, so these three more terms that related with the chlorination process. So one is the chlorine demand, next one is the residual chlorine, and the next one is the dose of chlorine. Okay, so the first one is the dose of chlorine. It is nothing but the amount of chlorine which add for the process of disinfection. Okay, so what is that? That is what nothing but the dose of the chlorine. Okay, how much amount of chlorine we are going to add to that water for the disinfection process, that is called as chlorine dose. Okay, then after the process of disinfection, whatever that amount of chlorine which remains present into that water, that residue is called as residual chlorine. Okay, and how much amount of chlorine is used for the killing of bacteria, organism and oxidation of organic matter, that chlorine is called as chlorine demand. Okay, so that means suppose if you are going to use 5 ppm or 5 mg per liter of if you are going to apply 5 mg per liter or 5 ppm dose of chlorine to the water, and after some time, after a period of 30 minutes, if you find the residual chlorine is 1 mg per liter, so the how much amount of chlorine is utilized by that water? It is 4 mg per liter. So that 4 mg per liter is 4 mg per liter chlorine is used for the complete disinfection of water, for the killing of bacteria, for the oxidation of organic matter. Okay, and that chlorine which utilized for that process of disinfection, that is called as chlorine demand. That means that water required that much chlorine for the disinfection process, and that is called as chlorine demand. Okay, so chlorine demand, when chlorine enters the water, it immediately begins to react with the compound found in the water, and the chlorine will react with organic compound and form trichloromethane, and it also react with the reducing agents such as hydrogen sulfide, ferrous ion, manganese ion and nitrate ions. Okay, so this is what the reaction of chlorine with hydrogen sulfide H2S. Okay, this is what the reaction of hydrogen in second hydrogen sulfide reaction with the chlorine and water to create sulfuric acid. And okay, so this is what the reaction with chlorine into the water. Okay, so reaction of chlorine gas with water. At the same time that chlorine is begin use of the compound in the water, and some of the chlorine reacts with the water itself. The reaction depends on what type of chlorine is added to the water as well as the pH of the water itself. Okay, so the chlorine reacts with water, breaks down into hydrochloric. So this water, the reactions which occurs into the water after addition of chlorine. Okay, so now you can see this is what the image or figure that indicates the break point of chlorination. Okay, so that is the important process into that water. Okay, so when we are going to add chlorine into that water, that chlorine going to be react with ammonia. Okay, and it forms this chlorine reacts with ammonia in water and to form chloramines. Okay, we already discussed about a chloramine. Chloramine, it is nothing but the combination of chlorine and ammonia into that water. Okay, so when this chlorine is react with ammonia into that water, it forms different chloramines. So these chloramines are the monochloramine, dichloramine and trichloramine. Okay, so monochloramine, where it form? When the pH value form 4.5 to 8.5. Okay, and when the dichloramine is where from? Okay, when the pH is where from 4.5 to 8.5, it is a dichloramine, and monochloramine when pH same like or more than 8.5. Okay, and trichloramine when the pH is less than 4.4. Okay, so you can see the reaction HOCl plus NH2, that is chlorine with ammonia, you give NH2Cl, that is monochloramine. Okay, then secondly that NH2Cl monochloramine reacts with chlorine, that produce NHCl2, that is dichloramine, and third this dichloramine is again going to be converted to trichloramine. Okay, so this monochloramine going to be converted to dichloramine, and dichloramine going to be converted into the trichloramine. Okay, so this is what the reaction happen in water after the addition of chlorine to the water, that chlorine and ammonia going to be react and it form the chloramine. Okay, So chlorine in the form of chloramine is called as combined available chlorine. Okay, so the addition of ammonia to chlorinated water to produce chloramine is called as chloramination. Okay, so chloramines are the effective for disinfection but to a lesser degree than free available chlorine. Okay, so now you can see this graph which indicates the break point of chlorination process. Okay, so from that graph also you can understand. So just you can see this graph. Okay, so one side it indicate the residual chlorine mg per liter vertically, and horizontally it indicates the chlorine dose applied in mg per liter. Okay, so how much dose you are going to apply. Okay, and how much the residual chlorine present into that water. Okay, so this process breakpoint chlorination process having the different zone, that is zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 and zone 4. Okay, so you can see when chlorine is added to water from doses up to 1 mg per liter according to the figure shown below, it oxidizes any present compounds, reducing compounds, organics such as Fe, Mn, Fs and NH3 and organics, and is converted into the chloride ion, and thus it is totally consumed and no residual appear at point A. Okay, so that means you can see this is what the first stage. Okay, so that is what chlorine residue after the addition of chlorine and the chlorine added, that is dose of the chlorine in mg per liter. Okay, so what happened at the first stage? The first, when we are going to add chlorine, it destruction of the chlorine residue and by reducing compounds. Okay, so chlorine destroyed by reducing compounds. So what happened here? So here reducing compounds inorganic such as Fe, Mn, H2S, NH3. Okay, so that going to be oxidized. So whatever amount of chlorine which added, that act as that going to be completely reduced or completely vanished. Okay, why? Because this total chlorine is utilized for that process, for the oxidation of Fe, Mg, Mn. Okay, Mn, H3S and other compounds. Okay, so you can see here, so at the point A there is no any chlorine present or no any residual chlorine present at the first point. Okay, so second stage you can see the formation of chloroorganic compound and chloramine. Okay, so that zone 2. Okay, so you can see in the point 2 and 3rd. Okay, so the point 1 and 2 you can see at the top of that figure, the point 1 and 2, the point 1 and 2 it is the zone 1, that is destruction to chlorine residue by reducing compounds. So in the second, that is 2 and 3, from that figure you can understand the point 2 and 3, that indicates what? The formation of chloroorganic and chloramines. Okay, so that is the formation of chloroorganic compounds and chloramines at zone 2. Zone 3, that is the from point 3 to point 4, that is what the destruction of chloramines and chloroorganic compounds that are going to be destroyed here. And finally at the point 4, so point 4 or zone 4, that indicate the break point of chlorination. Okay, so that break point of chlorination which indicates the formation of free chlorine. Okay, so that is after the point 4 you can see that is what the free residual chlorine which available into that water. Okay, so